Good evening. Let us be honest with one another as friends of the spirit. The drumbeat of this age is anxiety. Tick, tick, tick underneath meetings and meals, beneath our laughter and the glow of our screens. We reach for control as if it were a handle on the world. We clutch, and the world feels heavier. We set more alarms and sleep less. We add more plans and fear more outcomes. Do you see that? The very habit of trying to secure life by 10 handles assumes 10 powers that may run wild if we lose our grip. That assumption is the fear. That assumption is the drum. Now hear the still voice under the drum. One power. Full stop. Let it ring. One law. One cause. God is. Not God will be. Not God was. God is. Anxiety ends where God is. Do you see that? Be still and know that I am God is not poetry for funerals. It is a present command, a present revelation. Be still and know I am. I am that I am is not dated speech from Sinai. It is the name speaking itself now. If there is one power, you have no rival to appease, no second force to fear, no third policy to manage. One. When the mind yields to that one, the heart ceases its throb of dread. This is not theory. It issues as peace and what the world calls healing. You will discover that when you rest in the now of God, the blood pressure that was performing a play for your attention steps off the stage. The dread of the phone call that never came dissolves. The argument in your head has nobody left to contradict. Why? Because there never were two powers fighting to win you. There is one appearing as you, as this moment, as this breath. God as. God is. I am. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Recognize is. Sit in meditation until you feel that presence. Until the inner hand clasp, the click tells you, I am here. Time means nothing in that sitting. 2 minutes or 20 years, when the is felt, peace is, and what the world calls healing is the sign following. There is no future tense in truth. Will you remember that? Not the Lord will be my shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. Not I shall dwell, I dwell. Not one day I shall see harmony. Harmony is as God is. I know our modern custom is to get it scheduled. We like to place God between 4 and 5 o'clock, then perhaps a movie and dessert. Oh, I can go to the movies every night if I like, but not to escape the now. The only sanctuary is. The only law that governs you is law proceeding from is. The only cause that can appear is cause that is God's being oozing as your being. So our road tonight is simple and relentless. Relentless because love is relentless. We move from many powers panic to one power presence. We dismantle the cabinet of gods that have crept into our consciousness, health God, money God, reputation God, calendar God, and we enthrone no new idol. We do not exchange one superstition for another. We recognize presence. We will see how the myth of many powers produces the anxiety machine, and how the triad, one power, one law, one cause, is both theology and therapy. We will ground it in scripture, not as antique phrases, but as living food. We will observe proofs, not repaired humans, but the dawning of what already is. We will learn to wait for the inner click, to act from it, and to breathe a simple mantra that returns us again and again to now. For this first moment, take what you have already heard. One power, God is. Whisper it as your own. Name. Let the shoulders drop. Let the breath find its home. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. Do you see that? Stayed, not stretched into tomorrow, not dragged back to yesterday, stayed, here, now. One power named now. And in that now, anxiety has no life, no law, no cause. Only God is. Never give up. Never give up. Stay right here and watch the drum fall silent. Now let us unfold the triad, not as a shelf of concepts, but as the bedrock on which your feet can rest while the winds of the world blow and pass on. One power, one law, one cause. If you will let that sink, not intellectually, but inwardly, you will find that what I am saying is not merely theology, it is therapy. It is bread, meat, and wine to the anxious heart. We are not adding three notions to the mind. We are letting three words reduce us to one. One power, presence, one law, grace, one cause, spirit. Do you see that? One power. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, is not a headline from a distant age. It is the hum of being at this instant. If there is one power, there are not two to appease, three to outmaneuver, or 10 to juggle. Anxiety is the labor of serving two masters. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. Why? Because the moment you admit a second power, you also admit a second law and a second cause, and now the mind must build a fence around itself against a herd of imagined bulls. But if the Lord is one, if God is what remains to oppose, I am that I am, not I will be if you behave. I am. There is no future tense in truth. God is, I am. One law, grace. Not the law of percentages, not the law of odds, not even the law of your past deeds stalking you. For the law of the Spirit of life in Christ Jesus hath made me free from the law of sin and death. Do you hear it? Made, already done. Grace is not a delayed salary for good behavior. Grace is the nature of God being God now. By grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God. A gift does not wait to see if the clock approves. A gift is given because the giver is a giver. When one law is recognized, you cease asking which statute of chance and circumstance will strike you next. The only statute across your being is the perpetual decree of love being itself. Do you see that? There is no tribunal against one cause, spirit. In the beginning, God. Not heredity, not environment, not calendar, not market. It is the spirit that quickeneth. The flesh profiteth nothing. If spirit is cause, then everything true about you is proceeding now from the invisible. Life that is God appearing as the visible, you. Not God and you, but God as you. Glass appearing as tumbler, sun appearing as sunbeam. Can the sunbeam fear a shadow as a rival light? It only seems to when it forgets its sun. When you admit other causes, diet as cause, boss as cause, news as cause, you litter the mind with levers that must be pulled, and panic when hands are tired. One cause dissolves the machinery. Spirit is, and what spirit is appears. God is, I am. Now where is the therapy? Right here. Many powers imply many threats. One power leaves nothing to oppose. Many laws require constant compliance. One law moves as you like breath without effort. Many causes produce endless blame and credit. One cause removes the courtroom and reveals harmony as what is. In him we live and move and have our being. Not will live, live. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Not later, is now. Sit in that. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Recognize as and is. Sit until the heart quietly says yes, until the click assures you. One power, one law, one cause. Then watch the drum slow. You are not wrestling 10 gods. You are resting in one. God is I am. Do you see that? Let us be frank a moment and lift the curtain on the little factory that hums day and night between your ears. It has belts, levers, warning lights, and it produces what? Powers. Other powers. You awake, and the morning news runs the first belt. Storms, markets, opinions. A label is stamped power of events. Then the physician speaks, and a second belt begins, a prognosis, a calendar, a graph, stamped, power of time, power of flesh. Your email pings and your bank app flickers, stamped, power of digits. A memory rises from 10 years ago to accuse or to flatter, stamped, power of past. A social scroll churns, stamped, power of approval. Without even knowing it, we have built a counterfeit triad, many powers, many laws, many causes, and to keep the machinery from jamming, we appoint ourselves foremen. Check the weather, check the numbers, check the faces, check the mirror, feed each meter with attention, compliance, apology. No wonder the heart is tired. Chronic vigilance is the tithe we pay to idols we ourselves have carved. Do you see that? What is anxiety in this light? It is devotion. Oh yes, devotion, a prayer life in reverse. The mind bows all day long before what if, recites a liturgy of probabilities, keeps feast days for deadlines and anniversaries of hurt. Thou shalt have no other gods before me was not spoken to an ancient tribe alone. It addresses this very assembly line in you. The first commandment is a mercy. When you let many powers into your temple, many laws come trooping after them. The law of odds, the law of averages, the law of family history, the law of public opinion, and then many causes. Diet caused this, market caused that, boss caused this, mood headline caused that, blood pressure. And now you must manage, negotiate, hedge, and hustle. This is the anxiety machine. Its only fuel is your attention. Now hear the contradiction that frees. Material law has nothing to support it in the realized presence of one power, nothing. It is like the mirage of converging tracks on the horizon. From a distance you swear they meet. You even make plans about that meeting. Walk up to it, and you find no junction to cross, no danger to avoid. Where did it go? It never was where it seemed, or like a cloud that appears to cover a mountain. You climb into it and discover you were carrying the cloud in your own eyes. So with the laws of fear, when presence is realized, if God be for us, who can be against us? Not tomorrow, now. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Light is, salvation is. There is no courtroom left in which the statutes of panic may be read. There is no judge to gavel. There is no prisoner to bind. Do you see that? Anxiety argues, but look at the facts. I answer, look at the fact. God is. God is. I am. When the one fact is beheld, the fear facts, which drew their seeming from your gaze, fall like stage props at the end of a play. You have been bowing to a scarecrow and gifting it your corn. You have mistaken your own shadow for a rival man, and you have practiced boxing with the air. The only life anxiety has is the breath you blow into it. Withdraw the breath, and the figure slumps. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Simply cease the worship of what if and acknowledge is. Anxiety is allegiance to a rival power that does not exist. Do you see that? When the foreman of your little factory lays down his clipboard and listens, the belts slow, the lights dim, the stamping stops. One power remains, and with it a hush that is not fragile but sovereign. Now we take Scripture not as embroidery for the wall, but as shield for the heart. Hear it as now. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Not the Lord was when David wrote. Not the Lord will be when my report improves. The Lord is my shepherd now. He maketh me to lie down In green pastures he leadeth me beside the still waters. That is not a travel plan, that is a present government. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Do you hear the isness? Not reward for perfection, but the nature of God shepherding now. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Let us speak it as our present, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Not shall be, art. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. This is not a table that must be delivered, it is laid. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over, runneth now. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Even there you can feel the present certainty folded into those days, the nature of goodness following, because goodness is God being God, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Read it this way with me. I dwell. I dwell. Do you see that? Now translate this into practice, because truth unpracticed is a framed promise with no bread. Let the psalm become breath. Inhale gently, the Lord is. Exhale softly, my shepherd. Again, the Lord is my shepherd. Once more, slower. The Lord is my shepherd. Let the ribs widen to receive his. Let the shoulders fall into shepherd. We are not pleading for a shepherd to arrive. We are recognizing the shepherd who is. We are not manufacturing calm. We are ceasing to feed the machine. God is, I am. Let the rhythm do the lifting. One power, one law, one cause present as the cadence of your own breath. You may say, but I do not feel it yet. Sit in meditation until you feel that presence. 2 minutes or 20 years' time means nothing. We are not chanting to coax God into the room. We are quieting the noise that argues for rival powers. Each repetition is not a spell. It is a looking. The Lord is my shepherd means the governance of this instant belongs to one. It means my steps are led by a wisdom not in my brain but appearing as my being. It means supply is not a stack of coins, but the presence of grace table already set inside the clamor. Do you see that? Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. The enemies do not need to be chased out. They dissolve when you eat. Eat what? Is. Feed on is. Try it when the email stings, when the room spins, when sleep runs away. Do not argue with the messenger. Do not touch the lever. Turn within one breath. The Lord is my shepherd. Second breath. I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Third breath. Thou preparest. My cup runneth over. You are not fixing what went wrong. You are watching what is right appear. He restoreth my soul. How? By the isness of God presenting itself as your very awareness of peace. There is no future tense in truth. Do not promise yourself, tomorrow I shall trust. Trust is now, or it is not trust. Rest is now, or it is imagination. The shield of Scripture is not the leather of ancient words. It is the living, now in which those words were spoken and are being spoken. I am that I am. Do not try to do something. Do not try to change something. Always remember as and is. God as your very selfhood. God is this very moment. Whisper the psalm until you notice the inner nod, the click that says, yes, then stop. Let the silence complete the sentence. The Lord is my shepherd. Full stop. And in that stop, feel how the many powers retire without a fight, how the law of odds has nothing to say, how the cause of panic finds no courtroom. Surely goodness and mercy follow, not because you chase them, but because one is. Never give up. Never give up. return to is as to home. And let Psalm 23 be your shield worn on the inside, light upon light. Now, let us place our finger on the exact location of this thing we have called fear. Not in the headline, not in the pulse, not in the bank book. There is no such thing as an externalized illusion. The illusion is within us as belief. Anxiety is an image in thought, a picture painted on the lens of consciousness, and then we step back and tremble before our own painting as if it were a wall. Do you see that? The streetcar tracks seem to meet on the horizon. We say there is danger there, and even write a memo about it. Walk to the place, and there is no meeting to manage. The cloud that looks as if it sits on the mountain, how heavy it must be, lifts the moment the sun of awareness rises. You discover that nothing burdened the mountain at all. Where did the weight go? It was never out there. It was in the glance that missaw. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen, said the apostle. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. The temporal is the picture, the eternal is the isness behind the picture. Here is the mercy. When you see through, nothing outside is changed. Awareness awakens. The world you feared does not need repair. The lens needs rinsing. You do not have to straighten the horizon to cure the tracks. You only have to walk into the fact and let the cartoon fall. The light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Light does not argue with shadow. It does not shove it, wrestle it, or hold a debate. It shines. And what appeared as darkness is found never to have had substance. Anxiety quiets by light, not fight. Your work, then, is not to move matter, calendar, or neighbor, but to withdraw belief from the moving picture that frightened you, casting down imaginations, Paul called it, and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God. Do you see that? You haven't changed the world. You've unmasked a picture. How do you know it is a picture? It demands your attention to live. The moment you forget to bow, it crumples. A child sees a coat on a chair and cries, "A man, turn on the lamp," and the man resigns his post without an argument. Was there ever a man there to counsel, to appease, to bribe? No. There was an outline that borrowed life from the night and your belief. So, with the gods of prognosis, percentage, and popular terror, they pant only when you pump them with your looking, "Awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Christ shall give thee light." Awake from what? From the hypnosis of your own picture show. Rise from the death sleep of what if. Christ's present light reveals what is. Now, be careful with this. Do not try to do something to the picture. Do not fetch a broom for the horizon. Do not strap yourself to the chair and bargain with the coat. Sit in meditation until you feel that presence. Let the inner click announce God is. God is I am. Then look again, not to see if the picture improved, but to notice it never owned you. The pulse may still be pulsing, the email may still be waiting, the rain may still be falling, but the supposed life and law of fear has no court in which to prosecute. One power leaves no rival statutes on the books of your being. One law of grace leaves no ordinance of dread to cite. One cause of spirit leaves no alternate source to blame or placate. Do you see that? When you stop feeding the image stops feeding on you. This is why there is no future tense in truth. The dissolving of illusion is not scheduled. It is seen. It is the instant in which the eye that was fastened to appearances lifts into is. We walk by faith, not by sight, not by the seeing of pictures, but by the knowing of presence. The remedy is not outside-in adjustment. It is inside-out recognition. Let the light do its simple work. Don't try to change something. Remember, as and is. God as the very awareness that sees. God is the life by which you look. And in that looking, the factory of many fears loses its orders. The screen goes blank. The tracks straighten in their own place, and the mountain stands as it always stood free. Never give up. Never give up. Return to the light and watch the world you were trying to fix reveal the harmony that was quietly there now. Now we come to the little word that opens the gate you have been leaning against all your life, as. Not God and man, God as man. Not a deity above and a creature below, but substance and form as one thing. Glass appearing as tumbler. Water taking the shape of the cup while never ceasing to be water. The sun never dispatches beams as exiles. The sun appears as sunbeam, whole in quality, though not in quantity. So here is God, unseparated, appearing as you. Do you see that? This is not flattery to a nervous ego. This is identity, the only identity you ever had. In him we live and move and have our being, which we, the we that is spirit's self-knowing, the I that is God's own I, saying I. Isaiah said it with a prophet's poetry. Thou shalt be called by a new name, which the mouth of the Lord shall name. That new name is not a ribbon pinned upon a well-behaved human. It is the name revealing itself as you. I am that I am, spoken at the center of your being. Here is God made manifest as man. Not someday, not after examinations, penance, and applause. Now are we the sons of God. And if you want the apostles' plainness, I live, yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. Do you hear what disappears there? The old two-ness, the patched-up person. Christ in you, the hope of glory, is not a passenger. It is the very life of this I that says I. I smile with you about grammar. We were taught to say, I and the Father are one. Very good on paper. But when oneness is realized, even the plural verb feels like a draft under the door. Say it the way the heart knows it. I and the Father is one. Scholars may frown. Oneness smiles. In the sanctuary of his, grammar bows. Do you see that? The whole trouble of fear grew out of a subject and an object. Me here, God there. Me small, God large. Me lacking, God supplying. With, as there is no distance to cross, no supply chain delay, what can be threatened when the only I present is God as you? This is where anxiety loses its subject. Anxiety needs a separate self to seize, a private life to choke, a personal future to darken, when as dawns it grasps and finds air. Whom shall it strangle God? Whom shall it evict Emmanuel? God with us as us. The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? The scarecrow stands only if you agree to be the field. Withdraw that agreement, and you discover the field is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and the figure you feared was a shadow without a caster. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Recognize as and is God as your very being. God is this very moment. Practice it simply. When the thought arises, my nerves are fraying, translate at once. Whose nerves? I live, yet not I. Let the old pronoun shrink into truth. Sit in meditation until you feel that presence, that click that says, yes, I am this I. Time means nothing. Whisper as and is together until they braid. God as I. God is, I am. Not a man climbing to God, but God appearing as man. Not a candle begging the sun, but the sun shining as this very ray. This removes the drama and leaves the light. You will find, as you abide here, a curious quiet takes up residence without your permission. Decisions that demanded argument now answer themselves. The face in the mirror, once a report card, becomes transparency. You stop carrying your life like luggage and discover life carrying itself as you. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Yes, but more, I am as thee. Do you see that? The shepherd is not outside the sheepfold calling over a wall. The shepherd is the life of the sheep, the mind of their going, the breath of their pasture. When identity is seen as God appearing, there is no subject left for anxiety to clutch, no object for it to throw, no courtroom for it to convene. Only one remains, and that one is peace. Never give up. Never give up. Return to the as secret, the way you return to breath. When you say, I, let it be holy ground. Here is God, made manifest as this very being. Here is the new name, not inked, but living. Here is the end of the anxious pronoun and the beginning of I am. God is I am. Do you see that? Now, having seen as we rest our weight on is here the name that names itself. I am that I am. Not I will be when you improve. Not I was back when miracles were plentiful. That is the whole gospel of time dissolved. There is no future tense in truth. The moment you allow the mind to stretch truth into tomorrow, you have left truth and entered imagination. And imagination is the breeding pen of fear. But there is no soil for fear to take root. Is present, sovereign, indivisible. Leaves no margin for what if. Do you see that? Listen to the master, anchor it in food you can taste now. I am the bread of life. He does not sign you up for a ration card that begins next quarter. Bread now. And he adds, what religion tried to push into a catechism but is nourishment? My flesh is meat indeed, and my blood is drink indeed. Bread, meat, wine, triad of sustenance, not theory. Think of it this way. Bread of life, the daily substance of is. Meat of life, the strength of is. Wine of life, the joy and sparkle of is. All now. You do not store this in the pantry of tomorrow. You eat it as it appears, and it appears as presence recognized. He that eateth me, even he shall live by me, not later by me now. Do you see that? The table is not in the future. It is spread where you are aware of is. Here is the immediate therapy. Anxiety cannot cross the border into is. Tomorrow's fear is a passport stamped with dates. It cannot pass the present gate where no dates are recognized. Try it. Let the thought come, tomorrow, what if, and then refuse to finish the sentence. Withdraw the breath that would complete the scene. Say only, God is. Attend to the feel of now in your hands, your feet, your breath. Anxiety, bewildered, looks for a tomorrow field to pitch its tent and cannot find land. It withers for lack of time. Do you see that? We have been renting fear, a room in a hotel that does not exist. How then to live? Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Always remember as and is. Sit in meditation until you feel that presence, the click that announces Emmanuel, not as a guest, but as the very I that is saying I. Time means nothing. When the click comes, you are in, is whether 1 minute or 1 hour has passed. Rise and let action be the overflow of is, not the scramble of how will I make tomorrow safe. If there is a call to make, it will be present as the next breath. If there is a word to speak, it will be on your tongue as bread, not hunted with binoculars. This is not passivity. This is activity under one law, one cause, one power, as this very now. I know the mind says, but the bill is due Friday, the appointment is Tuesday. Very well. Friday will arrive as Friday is. Tuesday will arrive as Tuesday is. Take therefore no thought for the morrow, the Master said, not because calendars are sinful, but because thought about tomorrow is an attempt to live where you do not exist. You exist only as is. Plans may be laid in is like a farmer placing seeds in today's soil. Worry is a farmer chewing dirt and calling it bread. Do you see the difference? One is present obedience to the wisdom that appears. The other is allegiance to a phantom future that never becomes now. Practice it the moment you catch yourself rehearsing scenes. Stop mid-sentence. Whisper, "The Lord is." Pause there. Again, God is, I am. Feel how the body, which was rehearsing tension for a play that has no stage, drops its props. Heaven does not mail you courage in advance. It is courage as presence. Grace does not dribble by installment. It is law now. Cause is not queued up in a timeline. Spirit causes as being itself. Live in is, and find that the supposed law of later cannot execute its warrant. There is no courthouse in is. There is only the sanctuary of I am, and if you fall back into the habit, fine. Begin again. Never give up. Never give up. Return to the name that names you. I am that I am. Eat the bread that does not stale because it never sits on a shelf. Drink the wine that does not ferment because it never waits. Take the meat that strengthens without effort because it is, life being life. Stay here, whereas cancels the fiction of tomorrow, and let peace be ordinary, like breath present, sufficient, whole. Do you see that? Many of you say, all right, I hear you speak of is and as, but does it work when the world shouts its facts? Let us bring it into the lane of proof, not to flatter curiosity, but to expose the nature of revelation. A neighbor rang one evening in a panic. His dog had been struck, the hip declared broken, the whimpering a sermon of matters verdict. We sat, not to plead, not to push bones around with thoughts, but to let presence be presence. God is, I am. There was the inner click and silence. We did nothing. We agreed with one. 2 nights later, the animal rose and walked the length of the yard, tail like a little banner of the kingdom. Timeline bowed to presence. No convalescence charted, no bridge built between broken and mended. Do you see that? You haven't seen a healing at all. You witnessed the new creature, Christ. The picture of fracture dissolved, and what always was spiritually whole appeared as the dog you could touch. Not repaired creature revealed wholeness. You may say, but how can that be? Something changed. Yes, sight changed. The illusion yielded. The temple veil in thought rent from top to bottom, and there stood what stood all along, God appearing as life, one power, one law, one cause. The dog did not move from sick to well. The belief in a second power lost its witness. He doesn't convalesce. He appears. When the sun comes out, we do not report a repair of darkness. We say it is bright. So with God realization, it is bright now. Take a stronger provocation. Soldiers blown to bits on a field, how do they awaken? With which part sewn to which? The mind wants an undertaker's miracle. Spirit reveals, I am the resurrection and the life. Do you see the difference? Not a workshop welding flesh, but the appearing of what was never destroyed. There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body. We shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye. A moment now, not repair, revelation. When Lazarus came forth, the mystery was not in bandage technique, but in the voice that reveals, I am. The same Christ identity that walked through walls did not need permission from brick or scar. Material law had nothing to support it in the realized presence of one power. Nothing. And this is precisely what confounded Nicodemus in the night. Except the man be born from above, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Not improve your humanhood and graduate to spirit, not patch the old wineskin until it holds. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the spirit is spirit. He asked, how can a man enter the second time into his mother's womb? We smile with him, because every one of us has tried to climb back into yesterday and come out holy. The master answered with his, the wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof. Hear it now. The birth from above is the disappearance of the old subject who could fear, could convalesce, could bargain, and the appearing of I am Christ as you. If any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, not study. Behold, all things are become new. When? There is no future tense in truth. So our proofs are not trophies of a repair shop. They are windows. In one power, harmony is revealed, not manufactured. In one law, order is unveiled, not enforced. In one cause, life is seen as itself, not propped. Your task is not to yank on effects, but to abide until the click and then to behold. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Always remember as and is, God as your very being. God is this very moment. And then, without fanfare, you will find the lame walking, the shattered whole, the anxious self, nowhere to be found, not because you glued him together, but because the new creature appeared where a patched creature once seemed to stand. Do you see that? Now we touch the hinge of the whole way. Permission, not from men, not from committees, not even from the chattering conscience that says, do something. Permission is from presence. Sit in meditation until you feel that presence. Time means nothing. 5 days or 5 years, be faithful. Do you see that? Be still and know that I am God. Not be busy and hope. Sit until the inner yes rises of itself, like a quiet spring you did not prime. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Always remember as and is. God as your very being. God is this very moment. Here is the warning that saves you from a world of strain. No man can do these miracles except God be with him. Except God be with him. Don't attempt works. Performance without presence breeds agitation, and agitation reproduces itself in the very thing you touch. If you step out to heal, to fix, to convince, to manage without the click, you will find yourself pushing shadows around a wall. The wall won't move, and your shoulders will ache. Sit again. Time means nothing. You are not neglecting life. You are discovering life. The click authorizes. Willpower agitates. Do you see that? How shall you know the click? Peace precedes words. Always. Peace before plan. Stillness before speech. My peace I give unto you. It is a felt hush, a softening of the forehead, a spaciousness in which breath widens itself, and no one is pushing. Then, and only then, the words come. Sometimes they are few, sometimes they are none. Sometimes the action is bold, sometimes it is to do nothing at all but behold. The outer aligns to the inner yes, as naturally as tide to moon. You do not announce the click, you recognize it. You do not command the sea. You float because the water is already there. Make this your test of readiness. Before the call, the email, the visit, sit until you can say honestly, if no word were given, I remain at peace. If you cannot say that, You are still bargaining with a picture. Wait, if there is hurry in it, it isn't God. If there is fear in it, it isn't God. If there is a personal stake, credit to claim, blame to avoid, it isn't God. The shepherd does not shove. The shepherd leads. He leadeth me beside the still waters. Hear the grammar of is. If there is stillness, follow. If there is push, pause. Do you see that? Let me put a bit of humor in your pocket so you remember it when the mind gets solemn. With the click, even the movies are safe. Go. Enjoy the story. Presence does not mind popcorn. Without the click, even ministry is risky. Oh, you can make a fine mess for God in God's name. Won't that be something? So don't, if you have the click, wash the dishes and you will find heaven in the suds. If you do not have the click, preach a sermon and you will find only echo. The click turns the common into sacrament and denies the proud their stage. Do you see how kind that is? A simple protocol, then. Enter the inner room. Close the door on outcomes. Whisper the name until the mind drops its tools. God is. God is. Is. I am. Add the as secret until identity clears. God as I. Sit in that until peace appears. Minutes or months, time means nothing. When the click comes, let action be given, not invented. Make the call or don't. Speak the sentence or keep silence. You will know by the rest in it. It is God which worketh in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure. One power, one law, one cause. Permission is presence. Never give up. Never give up. Return to the inner click as to a faithful compass, and let your steps be the quiet echo of I am now. Do you see that? When panic surges, we do not argue with it. We out-presence it. We need a simple door that swings open in a heartbeat, a way to step from the many-voice street into the single still room. Here is the practice. I give you 3 breaths and a seal. It is portable, invisible if need be, and faithful. It does not fix a world. It resets sight to one. Do you see that? Use it in the grocery line, on the side of the bed at 3 a.m, in the car before the interview, in the hallway outside the operating room. Time means nothing. Presence is now. Breath, one recognition. Inhale gently and say within, one power. Let the words fill the chest the way dawn fills a room. On the exhale, say, full stop. End the sentence. Refuse the grammar of 2 powers. This is not an idea pasted over fright. It is the end of a lie's sentence. Full stop means no continuance for the story of rivals, no comma for but what if, no semicolon for and also one power, full stop. Anxiety is a sentence that runs on, you put a period where it was trying to multiply. Do you see that? Already the engine that needed your breath to run has lost fuel. Breath 2 law. Inhale, 1 law, grace. Exhale, no other law has claim. Feel what you are saying. Not the law of odds, not the law of prognosis, not the law of habit or heredity, grace. The law of God is self-acting benevolence, wholeness revealing itself as being. No petition signed by fear can override it. No ordinance passed by statistics can bind it. No other law has claim over mind, over body, over event, over hour. You are not issuing edicts. You are consenting to what is. The Lord reigneth. Do you see that? The shoulders begin to remember down. The jaw forgets its post. Breath 3 cause. Inhale, 1 cause, spirit. Exhale. Pictures are not powers. Identify the mischief maker. The picture on the inner screen, falling market, failing body, frowning face, has no motor of its own. It borrows current from your belief. Withdraw the plug. 1 cause, spirit. Effects that are true proceed only from this cause. The rest are scene paintings on a stage that vanish when the light shifts. Pictures are not powers, not the coat on the chair at night, not the tracks that seem to meet, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. Do you see that? In 3 breaths, the crowd of claimants has been ushered from the court, and there is no case left to try. Now seal it. Whisper, once and only once, as if it were the first and last sentence you would ever say, "The Lord is my shepherd." Hear the is, not will be, not used to be. The Lord is my shepherd. Then be silent. Rest until the faintest hint of calm appears as a loosened throat, a softening around the eyes, a small widening of space. It may be a thimbleful. It is enough. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Sit in that hint as if it were a vast meadow, because it is. The is has no acreage. It is infinite. If the mind resumes its parade, fine. Begin again. 3 breaths in the seal. 1 power, full stop. 1 law, grace. No other law has claim. 1 cause, spirit. Pictures are not powers. The Lord is my shepherd. You may need 1 round, or 5, or 20. Time means nothing. Each round is not repetition. It is deepening. You are not chanting at a wall. You are consenting to the room you already occupy. Emmanuel's room. God is. God is. Is. I am. And then only then listen for the click we spoke of. If it comes, your next step will arrive as naturally as the next breath. If no click, do nothing. Presence authorizes, willpower agitates. Perhaps the only action given is to sit and let the hush spread another inch. That inch can redraw a whole day. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me beside the still waters. Do you see how the triad breath lifts you from panic's many to presence's one? 1 power, 1 law, 1 cause. God as I. God is. Never give up. Never give up. When the crowd returns with its clamors, answer with 3 breaths in the name, and watch the shepherd be the life of your breath. Now we turn from the room of realization to the hallway of hours. Repattern the day under 1 law, and you will find that peace is not an event, but the atmosphere. This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Not a religious sentiment, a map. The Lord made this day, not your calendar. The Lord governs this hour, not your stopwatch. Do you see that? When 1 law, grace, governs the simplest minute, the great minutes and the small minutes lose their tyranny and become transparent to presence. Begin with work, deadlines, quotas, meetings, pictures, useful on a bulletin board, cruel as masters, supply is. Give us this day our daily bread. Our bread is not warehoused in Friday. It is presence yielding itself as this task, this exchange, this keystroke. Treat this minute as the only minute on earth, not next this. Sit 2 breaths at the edge of the desk and say, 1 power, full stop. 1 law, grace. 1 cause, spirit. Then take up the page in front of you, the phone in your hand, and let action flow from. Is emails written from the hurry of later carry sand. Emails written from is carry bread. Plans formed in fear are brittle. Plans revealed in is have the quiet flexibility of living wood. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you, added as now, not as someday. Do you see that? Even the spreadsheet starts to look like a psalm when it rests in 1 law, the body next. Symptoms are images in thought announcing themselves as event. Hear me. We do not make war on pictures. We withdraw our belief that they are powers. Attend the click first, then move as you are given. Sometimes the click releases stillness, only rest, a glass of water, a quiet hour. Sometimes the click places a name to call, a doctor to see, a remedy to take, and you go without fear, without bargaining, without translating means into second powers. I am the Lord that healeth thee. Healing is not a contest between treatments. It is the revealing of wholeness under one law, whether as quiet, as hands, as medicine, as sleep. If you are tempted to clutch tomorrow's body, return to is He restoreth my soul. Restoration is present. Tomorrow has no clinic. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Feel the click. Then let the deed be simple. Do you see that? Now relationships. That high theater where anxiety likes to sell tickets. The way out is the as secret applied to faces. God is the one appearing as each, not two egos fencing. One life recognizing itself. Let the argument come to the door and find there is no combatant home. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Righteous judgment says, I and the Father is one here, and so is He and the Father. One is your Master, even Christ. And all ye are brethren. Under this sight, the need to win relaxes, the truth to be heard emerges. Try it at the kitchen sink, at the office doorway. Before speech, breathe. One power, full stop. Then speak fewer words, truer words. A soft answer does not manage tempers. It reveals the one mind speaking to itself. Do you see how little drama remains when there is no second power to fuel it? Mantric maintenance keeps the lanes clear, short, sincere, pauses, outwork long, anxious efforts. Between calls, God is, I am. At the elevator, God as I, crossing a threshold, one law grace. 30 seconds opens a window wider than 30 fretful minutes. You are not leaving life to practice. You are letting life be noticed as itself. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. Stayed does not mean frozen. It means touched and retouched, like a gardener returning to water. Do you see that? The day breathes with you. Living under one law normalizes peace across tasks, health, and human ties. It is not a trick you remember on Sundays. It is a name you wear Monday through midnight. My peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth. Receive it in the inbox and at the doctor's door, in the market and at the table. Always remember as and is. God as your very being. God is this very moment. Never give up. Never give up. Return to the brief hush 100 times if needed. One power, one law, one cause. God is, I am. Do you see that? Good evening becomes good always when the seal is set within. Here it is benediction and commission all at once. Thou shalt be called by a new name, which the mouth of the Lord shall name. Not a nickname from men, not an ambition stapled to a resume, but a name whispered by being to being. And what is that name now? His name shall be called the Prince of Peace. Let it rest on your brow and in your bones. Wear it, not as ornament, but as identity. Peace is not a mood you visit. Peace is the one you are as God appearing. Do you see that? This is not deferment. This is now. My peace I give unto you. Given now. There is no future tense in truth. So walk quietly, steadily, as who you are called. Do not announce the new name to the town crier. Let your steps say it. The steady walk of peace is its witness. In the market, in the meeting, in the midnight hour, carry no project of repair. Bear only presence, one power, one law, one cause. If you have the click, act. If you do not abide, time means nothing. Presence means everything. Never give up. Never give up. The shepherd of this peace is not impatient. He leadeth me beside the still waters. You are not late to stillness. Stillness is the hour. Let me place the signet of this in your hand like a ring that leaves its impress on every letter of your day. Press it gently on each task as it appears. One power. When resistance arises, press again. One law. Grace. When images parade like creditors and scarecrows, press a third time. One cause spirit. Then leave the wax to cool. Do not poke it to see if it is setting. The seal is not your strain. The seal is God is. Do you see that? When the mail goes out with that seal, the message reads the same in every language. Peace has sent me. And what of the moments you forget because you will, and we may as well smile about it? If by breakfast the old name answers the door, begin before the toast burns. God is. If by noon you find yourself negotiating with shadows, step into the storeroom and breathe 3 times as we have learned, and say once, the Lord is my shepherd. Then go back out as if the world had shifted because it has, though only within the only place there is to shift. If at night you gather your day and find more noise than him, lay it gently in the presence and sleep in the name. Begin again. Begin again. Do you see how kind this is? Now are we the sons of God, not tomorrow's saints, but today's transparency. The peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Not keep them later, keep them. The keeping is your task is not to monitor the keeping, but to abide in the keeper. And the keeper is not outside. I and the Father is one grammar, bowed to oneness. Remember? Smile with me. Scholars may frown, but oneness has no committee to please. Walk in that holy humor. It lightens the feet. This is your commission then, and your assurance. You are named peace now. You are sealed in peace now. Walk it. When the wind rises, walk it. When applause tempts and blame scolds, walk it. If you stumble, do not rehearse the fall. Stand where it stands and start from God is. Never give up. Never give up. In the steady walk, love becomes ordinary, forgiveness uncalculating, provision unspectacular and sure. Not repaired appearances, but harmony revealed because one is here as you. Let the refrain be simple enough to remember when the room is loud. One power, one law, one cause. God as I. God is. I am. Say it without strain, the way you would breathe. Let it be the signature on your day and the amen on your night. And if you forget, if you find yourself in the old name, answering to fear's roll call, start at once, God is, and begin again. Do you see that? The door of now is never locked. Peace stands within it, not waving you in from a distance, but shining as the very eye that says I. Go in peace. Better, go as peace.